Okay, happy new moon and solar eclipse. It's a big one. It's so exciting. Oh, it just seems like there's always so much going on, but I'm going to share my screen because, of course, I made slides for awesome time here together today. And I'll start the slideshow in 1 second as soon as Zoom lets me into everything. Okay, here we go. So Aries new moon, second Aries new moon in a row, right? So what we'll talk about, I don't want to get ahead. So anyways, I'm Sheridan Semple, and for any of you who aren't familiar with working with me, I am an astrologer, an aromatherapist, and I'm teaching, if you're in the Aspen, Carbondale area, I'm teaching an in-person medicinal aromatherapy certification course down at True Nature, June 9th to 11th. I'm a teacher. I teach astrology, astronomy, aromatherapy classes, and then I teach Venus alchemy with the amazing Kaylin Castell. We just met today, and I'm always continue to be more and more blown away by the wisdom that she is and has us. And we're going to start our new cycle in August. So, I mean, I can't even believe it's like everything's coming so quickly. Okay, so what to expect? So we're going to open with creating sacred space. We'll do some astronomy teaching, astrology sharing. We'll talk about the Aries archetype. And then the spiritual aromatherapy I brought for Aries this time, because it's our second Aries new moon, is red pine and tea tree. And I'll explain why. And then we'll do a new moon ceremony. And then we have Q&A and sharing off of the recording for everyone who's just here live today. Okay, so let's open sacred space with the cardinal directions. So because we have passed the March equinox, I like to face the direction that we're in of the season that we're in, right? But I'm going to stay facing the microphone. So I'm just going to put my hands in the directions, but you're welcome to stand and turn and move in the directions as you want. Use your arms. Just imagine whatever works for you. So taking a breath. I call to the direction of the east, the rise of illumination, awakenings, and new beginnings. To the Aries sun of the March equinox, Ostara, the spring equinox, between the fish and the water bear constellations, the first quarter moon in fire. Please hold sacred space. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the direction of the south, the reach of passion, creativity, and new ideas. To the Cancer sun of Litha, the summer solstice at galactic edge, on the hand of Orion, between the twins and the bull constellations, the full moon in water. Please hold sacred space. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the direction of the west, the rest of knowledge, truth, and gratitude. To the Libra sun of Mabon, the fall equinox in the priestess constellation. The last quarter moon in air. Please hold sacred space. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the direction of the north, the root of cleansing, purity, and commitment. To the Capricorn sun of Yule, the winter solstice at galactic center, between the Archer and Scorpion constellations, the new moon in Earth. Please hold sacred space. To the Mother Earth below, Gaia, the divine feminine, and the plants and trees. Thank you for your wisdom, unconditional love, and transmutation. Thank you for your nurturing, sustenance, and the beauty and healing of your nature. Please hold sacred space. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the Father sky above, the divine masculine, and the planets and stars, thank you for your guidance, teaching, way showing, and consciousness. Please hold sacred space. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. Blessed be. Always feels good. Okay, so what is the new moon? And it is the time when the moon is between the earth and the sun, which today is a solar eclipse. So the moon is literally in the path between us and the sun, where sometimes it can be down lower or sometimes it can be up higher. So it's not actually covering over the sun, but today it is. We are officially entering eclipse season as this solar eclipse with this new moon happens today. So the total solar eclipse is, well, I guess it's a hybrid solar eclipse. Some places are seeing it as a partial, some places are seeing it as a total. And where I live and all of us here today in the United States, we will not see it at all because it's happening like tonight, tomorrow, depending upon where you are. So in Colorado, it goes from 7:34 p.m. until 12:59 a.m. and the max is at 10:17 p.m. Mountain Time. So that's after the sun has set. So we will not be seeing the eclipse. But just because we're not seeing it doesn't mean we're not in this energy of what's happening. And so we want to bring that awareness into our new moon ceremony today. So here is the chart of it, which I don't always show the charts because sometimes unless you're into astrology, it can just feel like gobbledygook, you know? So, but today I wanted to. So here we have the sun, which is the bullseye character here next to the moon character, which is easy to spot. And they are near this horseshoe shaped character, which is the nodes. So the eclipses can only happen when the sun and moon are near the nodes, right? So I don't know if I have another little animation in here. Oh yeah, I do. Look, see, sometimes I put these together and then I forget what I've done. So when the sun and the moon are near the nodes, that's the time that we can have the eclipses. And we're going to understand why that is in the next slide. But also just like Jupiter is right near here, which Jupiter is a big expander. I like to think of Jupiter as it just adds steroids to whatever it's near. So not only is it new moon because the sun and the moon are together, it's near the nodes, which makes it an eclipse because the moon is literally in front of the sun. But Jupiter is there as well, adding this big expansive energy to this. So there's a lot going on for this new moon, meaning there's a lot of energy for us to tune into, a lot of energy that's available to us as we set our new moon intentions this month. Okay, so here is an image of being able to look at the sun and the moon at the nodes. Okay, so we just talked about that. Eclipses only happen when the sun and moon are at the nodes. And the nodes are the place where the path of the sun, which is the yellow line, that's called the ecliptic, the path that the sun takes around the zodiac, meets with the path of the moon, which is the white circle here. So all the times when they are not together, we don't have eclipses, but when the sun and the moon are at this place where they cross over, we do have eclipses, which is what's happening for us now, right? So I just wanted to show that. And one thing that I learned from Gemini Brett, who, if you don't follow or check out Gemini Brett, I highly recommend. He is a wealth of astrological and astronomical information, is that the path of the sun is the path of spirit, and the path of the moon is the path of the soul. So the nodes are where spirit and soul touch and cross over each other, which again is another awesome thing to bring into our new moon ceremony today, right? So it's the place where you could feel into spirit and your soul crossing, touching, infusing our new moon intentions with that additional juice, with Jupiter there, eclipse, you know, all this kind of stuff is going on. Second Aries, new moon, etc. So as above, so below, as below, so above. So what's happening in the sky, it's happening for us, within us, right? So it's tuning into the astronomy and the astrology just helps us interact more consciously with what is going on in the world within us at this time, right? So again, it's just all information, inspiration to bring into your new moon intention today. And just take what you like and leave the rest, right? You take what speaks to you because that's what's resonating with your soul. And if something doesn't, let it go, right? It's just information to help you tune in more deeply to you. So the new moon is that start of the monthly moon cycle, and it's the time that we plant seeds of intention. And so we just talked about this, but just to remember the seeds of intention, it's the Aries new moon, and it's a solar eclipse, which here's an image of a solar eclipse, an amazing image of a solar eclipse. Okay, so this is our second Aries new moon in a row. So we had one in March at 0 degrees Aries. So the sun moved into Aries, signaling the March equinox. And for us in the Northern Hemisphere, the spring equinox, the moon immediately joined it. And we had that first Aries new moon. And then here we are today. The moon and the sun are together again at the very last degrees of Aries. So 29 degrees, 50, there's only 60 minutes in a degree. So we are just 10 minutes away from everything moving into Taurus here at that North Node, which we talked about just before. So lots of Aries energy, but we're about to move into lots of Taurus energy. So what else is going on? Mercury's going retrograde on Friday. So that's happening April 21st to May 14th. And when a planet goes retrograde, which Mercury is the most famous one, but they all go retrograde except the moon, it just means it moves back across the part of the sky it just came from until it goes direct and starts to move forward again. And Mercury retrograde gets such a bad rap, in my opinion. Like everyone's like, don't do anything, don't make any decisions, don't sign anything. But really, it's just this time, right? If Mercury represents the mind, when Mercury goes retrograde, it's just like a slowing down, right? But we're so used to going so forward and linear and go, 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 push, 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 do, that slowing down piece can feel disconcerting, right? But really, it's an invitation to slow down, move into that other hemisphere of our brain, tune into our creativity, our intuition, right? Tune in. It's all happening in Taurus. So that's even more of an invitation to take the mind down into the body and just like relish in the beauty of being in the body as opposed to being so in the mind all the time. On May 14th, when Mercury goes direct, it will be in Taurus, and that signals the new Mercury cycle occurring. Just like today's the new moon, and we have the new moon cycle starting, Mercury has a cycle, and it will start in Taurus. So it characterizes that whole cycle with that Taurus energy, which again is about receiving, being in the body, the enjoyment of the relishing in the sensual pleasures that only the body can provide for us. Sacred hoop still happening in all throughout in the evening sky. So you want to jump in and have a look while you can, because the sacred hoop is going away. It's not going to be there forever, right? So here we have this image of it, and now Venus and Mars are both in the sacred hoop. And in this image, you can see the hoop itself, all the stars, right? So looking at Orion's belt points to Sirius, and then you can find the bright stars, Rigel, the Pleiades here, which Venus was with the Pleiades not too long ago, all the sisters together. Around to Capella, Castor and Pollux, Procyon, back to Sirius. It's all these bright stars. So if you can find Orion's belt, you can find the sacred hoop, and it's moving slowly towards the horizon because it's going to set. Because as the sun moves towards this galactic cross here, which will be the June equinox. So when the sun reaches this point in the sky, it's the June equinox. This is the 0 Cancer point. It's where the galactic equator, the path of the Milky Way, meets with the path of the sun, the ecliptic, right? At galactic edge. So this is where we look out of our galaxy. And this sacred hoop is what the Lakota Dakota people called this area of the sky, and said this is where we incarnate through, right? This is where we come into the galaxy, into our bodies through. But it will be disappearing. So I just wanted to bring it up again that the sacred hoop getting is good for a little while longer. And Venus is still that in the evening sky. She's the evening star. And so you can see Venus, she's really up high above the horizon. This was just a little while ago when Mercury was in the sky as well. It's been snowy here, so I haven't looked the last few days to see if I could still see Mercury. Mercury's so elusive, but then sometimes you can see it for such a long amount of time, which is what's been happening right now. So Venus will be in the evening sky until August, when she meets with the sun, going between us and the sun, and then she'll rise in the morning sky and start the new cycle all over again in August. Okay, so the Moon Venus conjunctions, April 22nd and 23rd are coming. So you can see here's the 22nd and here's the moon, right, just past the Pleiades, coming up towards Venus and meeting with Venus. And as the moon meets with Venus, it signifies we move into the throat chakra, following that ancient story of Inanna and her journey from the underworld back up through the 7 gates, reclaiming her power. And so on April 22nd and 23rd, we move into the throat chakra, and it's a month of focusing on the throat chakra and reclaiming your power there. And you can see as I click to the next slide, the moon has now moved past Venus on the 23rd, right? That's why I left this time and date in there so that you could see that movement of the moon moving across Venus as we move into the throat chakra focus. So what is the throat chakra, right? So Venus meets with the waxing crescent moon on April 23rd at 6:43 a.m. my time, mountain time. And we move through the throat chakra gate, right? Which is about your voice, speaking, communication, your sound, and also listening. You can see in this picture, here is that waxing crescent moon meeting with Venus in the evening sky, signifying one of the chakra gates from last year. And Aries, what is Aries? Aries is a fire sign. It's considered, it's a cardinal sign, most people know it as, but it's an in service to others. That's what the cardinal signs are. And it's the March equinox, right? We talked about that. So when the sun moves into Aries, that's the March equinox, spring in the northern hemisphere, fall in the southern hemisphere. It is a sacred warrior protector energy. Think of like Wonder Woman, Mulan, Neith, Pallas Athena, Aries, Mars, Set, Odin. These are all warrior goddesses and gods. It's a defender of the community and culture, right? That's how it serves others. Courageous, brave, strong, athletic. It's that mama bear energy. Or you could think of like the older images of the midwife who just held the sacred space for the mom to birth the baby, because they're holding safe space, making safe space for the mother. That's a very Aries type of activity. It's about individuation and independence, right? Stepping into your own individual power, your independence, being independent, self-will, self-awareness, I can't think of the word, characteristics, that's it, of Aries. Committed action, focus, straightforward. It's about having a mission and purpose, right? Aries really needs to have a mission and purpose in what it's doing, with all of that strong individuation energy. Has a love of competition, it acts. It's an actional sign. And it's also innocent, courage, free-spirited, likes fun and excitement, spontaneous, enthusiastic, adventurous. These are all aspects of Aries, right? You think about, we move from Pisces, which is the sign that's the most merged and connected into spirit and everyone else, and the empath, into Aries. And now Aries wants to individuate and do its own thing and step into its own physical expression. Aries goddess that I picked for today is Durga. So Durga is a major Hindu goddess. She is associated with protection, strength, motherhood, destruction, and wars. Durga's legend centers around combating evils and demonic forces that threaten peace, prosperity, and dharma, representing the power of good over evil, right? And dharma is like our spiritual path or our duty. Durga is believed to unleash her divine wrath against the wicked for the liberation of the oppressed, and requires destruction to empower creation. So I love this image as we're having this solar eclipse, right? Because it's like the shamanic death and rebirth, which is so much what eclipses are about, right? They're a transformation, a transformational time, opportunity of where we start with the full sun light, and then it's blocked out by the moon, and then the light comes back again. So it's like this quick transformative cycle that happens, as well as like Pluto, which we didn't say before, is square this solar eclipse new moon, which is more of that like kind of alchemical cauldron, transformative composting energy. You could think of like eclipse as almost looking like, it's sort of like an accelerated Pluto cycle where you kind of come into the light, go into the dark, and come into the light again, right? So I like that Durga requires destruction, that's the death aspect, to empower creation, right? The rebirth aspect. That's so much this energy that's available to us at this solar eclipse new moon. And Durga is often depicted as a beautiful woman riding a lion or tiger with many arms, each carrying a weapon and often defeating demons, right? She's a major protector type of goddess. So spiritual aromatherapy. This quote is, "It is the spirit of the plant that heals the disease. The plant chemical merely gives it a form in which to travel." And that is by Stephen Herod Buhner from his book, The Secret Teachings of Plants. So when we talk about using essential oils, aromatherapy, herbs, you know, any kind of plant medicine, essentially, there's an emphasis in our modern, right, left brain, Mercury going direct kind of world, that it's about the chemical constituents that are in each plant that heal things, like words like sesquiterpenes and esters and things like that. But really, we only know of maybe about 100 of these phytochemicals, and it's estimated every medicinal plant has 50 to 60,000 of these phytochemicals. So we don't even know, like, I don't even know the percentage, but like barely any of them. So it's really about the spirit of the plant, the vibration, the energy of the plant that does the healing. The chemical, the physical constituent is what gives it the form in which to travel. And so I love this quote. I love everything by Stephen Herod Buhner. His books are amazing. He was an incredible master herbalist who passed away just like at the end of last year or the beginning of this year, pretty recently. So anyways, so red pine. All right, so red pine is a very protector type of energy, Aries. It's adrenal support. All the pines are adrenal support. Calming, it's very grounding. Trees are very grounding. Works with anger, increases passion, helps with muscle and joint pain. It's antiviral, antibacterial. That's a big part of its protector type of energy. It helps with strep and staph infections. all respiratory issues because it comes from the needles, right? Or the leaves, we could say. And that's how the plant does its breathing. So it helps how we do our breathing, all of the respiratory system. It also stimulates the liver and helps the liver do its job. And then tea tree is another major protector energy. Most people have heard of tea tree and know of it as being something you can use for all the microbial issues. So it's a big antimicrobial, right? Antibacterial, antiviral, antiparasitic, antifungal, right? It's one of the ones that I call the antis that does everything. It's anti-inflammatory, again, helps with respiratory issues because the essential oil is steam distilled from the leaves again, same thing as that red pine. Colds and flus, infections, it's a decongestant, it's a major immune system stimulant, and it also helps to balance the thyroid. Tea tree is like an amazing essence, so powerful. And then here is the Aries invocation as we start to move into our intention setting ceremony. O fierce and mighty Aries warrior protector, committed to your sacred cause and noble mission, actively restoring the cosmic balance first within and then without. Through wise use of our immense power and courageous strength, and through our willingness to commit to engaging inspired action, we are stepping up to fully express our wild, untamed cosmic soul. Acting from our gallantly valiant and brave hearts, boldly committed to activating and cultivating our divine fire, aligned with furthering our holy mission and sacred purpose. Illuminate for us what most enlivens our spirited soul with direction and purpose. Fuel us with the resolve to powerfully meet any challenge that stands in our way. When we see injustice, power over, and suffering in our world, help us to first turn inward to cultivate our steadfast resolve as we meet our personal demons with fierce love and compassion and actively commit to healing our own distortions. Guide us in knowing what inspired actions to take that will right the wrongs, protect the innocent, further the common good, and restore justice and balance, continuing to transmit further restoration, healing, and wholeness in our world now. And that was written by Kaylin Castell, who I teach the Venus Alchemy class with. And now we move into our Aries new moon ceremony. So taking a moment, if you want, you can light a candle if you have. If you don't have one, that's just fine too. But I'm going to take a second and light this candle here. And then I love to put some of the essential oils into the candle just to create that alchemy, that energy, create that transformation for us with our ceremony. Sometimes I'll put some on. I usually anoint myself before we meet. And we'll just start to drop into all this energy we've been talking about, right? So just feel into whatever comes to you, resonates for you of everything we've discussed or everything you know, or just everything that you're feeling today, and just let your body start to settle into all of this Aries, fire, protector, warrior, strong, independent type of energy first. Just feel that heat of Aries. And just we'll call in the spirit of the tea tree and the red pine to support us in our intention setting today. And then tune into and feel the sun meeting with the moon at the nodes for the eclipse, where spirit and the soul's paths cross each other. And just feel all of that energy around you, within you, exchanging breath between you. Breathing in more awareness of this energy and sharing yourself, your energy as you breathe out. Infusing your body with the energy on your inhale and sharing your energy on the exhale. Feel yourself supported by the earth, while simultaneously grounded into all of this Aries solar eclipse energy. And just breathing in and out, feeling that soul essence exchange. That literal exchange of as above, so below, as below, so above. And feel your breath supported by the tea tree and the red pine. The spirit of the plants available to us energetically anytime. And then just sitting, marinating in all of this energy. Let your intuition guide you. Let your soul's path, crossing with spirit's path, guide you into your intention for this one moon cycle. Your intention for this opening of the eclipse season that lasts until the lunar eclipse at the full moon coming up in May. We're in this alchemical cauldron, transformative, energetic time where we can really call in the power of our soul, who we are, who we really came here to be, and release, let go, transmute the energy that blocks our fullest expression. So let's just sit in silence for a few minutes and just let yourself be guided into the intention that you want to set for this 1 month. Just the one thing that you could focus your energy on for this 1 month that helps that transformative energy within you to step more into your unique empowered path. And taking a breath in. You can stay in this meditative space, or you're welcome to write your intention down. And then if you do have a candle nearby, you could take a piece of the paper and write your intention on it and burn it. Or you could, you're all muted, you could speak your intention into the flame. Or if you don't have a candle, you can just imagine in your mind's eye, putting your intention into that fiery cauldron, into fire, burning something into the fire, however it works for you to bring that element of fire into our intentional ceremony now. And just see and feel the fire, the Aries fire, the solar eclipse. Feel all of that infuse your intention and support you in bringing your intention to manifestation over this new moon cycle. It is done. It is so. Blessed be.